Are you a good steward of your gifts? Whether it's money, whether it's a job you have, whether it's an ability you have, mental or physical, whether it's a talent, whatever it is, do you steward your gifts well? I want to read something called the parable of the talents. It's in Matthew 25. We're going to start at verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents. A talent is a measurement of gold, a lot of gold. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. So a man who was leaving the country gave his servants his money, and he entrusted them with this money. The first servant he gave 5 talents of gold. The second one he gave 2. The third one he gave 1 talent of gold. To each according to his own ability. He gave the amount according to what each servant was able to do. And immediately he went on a journey. Then the servant who received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents. So the one who had the 5 talents of gold was wise, and what he did was whatever he did, whether he invested, whatever the case may have been, he doubled his money. And likewise, the one who had received the 2 talents gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 talent, he went and he dug a hole in the ground, and he hid his master's money. After a long time, the Lord, or the master of those servants, came and settled accounts with them. The master returns, and he's going to ask them what you did with what I gave you. Obviously, so far you could see that God is the master in the parable. We are the servants, and our gifts are the talents, if you don't understand what's going on in the parable. And if you don't know what a parable is, it's a story. Jesus would tell these all the time, but it's a story that illustrates something, an important life lesson usually. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, hold on one second. So the master came back to settle accounts with them. So he who had received the 5 talents came and brought the 5 other talents, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. He also who had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, here, have what is yours. So he gave him back the 1 talent. He didn't do anything with it. He hid it. He kept it. And just when his master came back, he gave him back the 1 that he had given him. But his master answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers. And at my coming, I would have received back my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So don't get it messed up. This is not saying that if you have a lot of money, you're going to be more blessed. This is about gifts that God gives us. Money is included, but it's not just about money. It's about what we, and also don't get it messed up. God never promises us if we give money, we're going to receive more money back. That is not the point of this parable. The point of this parable is, are you using the things God has given you to glorify Him? Are you using these things to multiply His kingdom, to bring more people in, to help others? Loving all, especially those of the household of faith. This parable is Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30. I advise that you read it yourself, do research on it yourself, and make sure you're stewarding your gifts well. God has not given you these gifts to hoard to yourself. God has given you these gifts to glorify Him, to bless others. It's a responsibility.